On the channel today, we've got a cracker of a watch. It's called the Kraken from Phoibos. For those who don't know, Kraken is a legendary sea monster, and that's what they've named this watch, and they've designed it accordingly. As you can see, the case back, there's a sea monster back there. Quite an interesting piece, guys. It's a 300-meter diver with a high beat Miota, an exceptional bracelet. That bracelet, it looks like lizard skin. It looks like a sea monster's skin. Really well done with its screw pin and on-the-fly adjustment. So I'm impressed at what they've offered here, guys. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get stuck into it. The watch has been sent out to the channel for review. We don't have to send this back. That's full disclosure. It's not going to influence my review as always. I will tell you the negatives, the positives, what I honestly think about this. So let's get stuck into it. What we have case dimension wise, I measure the case diameter at exactly 41.9 or 42 mil. The case height comes in at exactly 12.6 millimeters from the bottom of that case back to the top of the double dome sapphire. And if you look at that sapphire, it's very subtly domed, so there's only a subtle dome in there. The lug to lug distance comes in at 49.8 and a lug width of 22 mil. So dimension wise, it's quite interesting. The weight, the overall weight size to my 7-inch or 18-centimeter wrist is 178 grams, and that screw down crown comes in at 6.8 mil. So I'll put it on the wrist to show you guys what it looks like. So that's how the watch sits on my 18-centimeter wrist, and as you can see, lug to lug of 49.8, it doesn't overhang, it's quite nice. 12.5, very comfortable, very nicely sized for a 300-meter, but that bracelet is, I love this bracelet. I'm so in love with this bracelet. Just the pattern, the tightness of it, the way they've designed it, it is really nice, especially on hot days. As you can see, you've got that on-the-fly adjustment. Beautiful. And I was working out in the garden the other day and I was wearing the watch. I took it off because my wrist expanded. I finished working, and by the time I had to put it on my wrist again, it was actually there. That's how much my wrist had expanded and by evening, just there. So, you know, my wrist had expanded a good 6 mil, 7 mil and so forth, and that's a great feature to have. So let's take it off the wrist. So basically, guys, as you can see, the watch itself, the bracelet I should say, it tapers from 22 to 20 at the actual clasp, a fully milled clasp, on the fly adjustment, as you can see. But what I do like about it, they've actually got 3 micro adjustments as well as that on the fly. And that's been really handy to get the exact size that you want. So I took the appropriate amount of links out of this watch, sized it up to exactly to the end, and it sits perfectly on my wrist. Now if you look at that dial, it's got like a radial pattern, a radial brushing all the way around. It's quite a unique feature, quite a unique look as well, but it's also got a sunburst effect. So it's been quite interesting how it's got a bit of character, and I don't mind that. I like what they've done there. The markers or the indices themselves, everything's applied. They're lume filled and everything is brushed from the indices, the hands, the case, the bezel, the bracelet. There is no polished features at all on this watch, and that's lovely. That is really nice to see. Now if you look at the 3 o'clock, you've got a date complication, and look, it's framed nicely with a white border. It's probably one of my gripes or my peeves of this watch, and I'll show you why. Let's unscrew that. We'll hack the movement. Let's just get it out of the zone. There you go. Okay, so you probably just noticed that the date is red. 2 seconds ago it was white, so I'll pull that again, and if you have a look, white, red, so every corresponding day is white and red. And initially when I got the watch and I opened up it was on a red. I thought, I can't even see it. I can't see it, but when it does switch to white the very next day, you can see it. When it switches to red, you can't. Now the crown, like I said, it's a 6.8 millimeter crown, absolutely fantastic. And I say that for a reason, because when I'm going to share some stuff about watches when I receive them, certain watches you get, and like I might say to you guys, the winding experience is good. So let's put that in. The winding experience is good, or the latch down experience is good, and the latch down experience on this is sublime. But it wasn't when the watch came in. It was actually a little bit on the harsher side, and some of the watches that come in, they come in like that, and all I do is basically open her up, hack it, and put a little bit of dental floss in there, wrap it around and gently pull it. It cleans any grit. Just wanted to share that with you guys because it happens with a lot of watches that we get, especially micro brands. As soon as I cleaned it, You push it in. This thing here is beautiful, absolutely wonderful. 300 meters of water resistance. Now the movement itself, it's a Miyota 9015 high beat, 28,800 beats per hour. It's been gaining about 8 seconds on the time graph, so it's very healthy, and I've not had an issue with it all week, so very, very pleasing. Good to see that they put a high beat movement in this. Now the bezel on the watch is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. It goes in one direction. Nice knurling at the edge. Very, it's like they're cut out from with a spoon. Very easy to grab. Stainless steel insert with its Lume pip. So let's see. I'll show you guys the action. Very toolish. It's not a finesse experience, but it's a positive experience. There's no back play, which is nice. I'm trying to move it, that's nice, and it lines up spot on, beautiful. So a lovely experience on the bezel. It feels like it's actually made well, and in fact the whole watch feels like it's made well, from that bracelet to the case. There's a couple of little gripes or negatives that I don't like about the watch, and I will share those. But getting onto that sapphire crystal, as you can see, it's a double dome sapphire. It features 3 anti-reflective coatings on the underside. I've not had an issue with it. As you can see, it doesn't fully wash out the dial. And when they say double dome, it's honestly, guys, it's so subtle. It's almost flat. It's such a subtle dome, but I wanted to share that anyway to show you guys that that's what they call it, a double dome, but it's almost insignificant, to say the least. Now the Lume on the watch is probably one of its strongest features. It features 15 layers of Superluminova BGW9 as well as C3 on the hands and indices. That Lume pip, that triangle at the top, also features BGW9. So I'll show you guys the Lume shot. As you can see, it's lovely. It's actually very, very bright. It's been a good experience coming from an outdoor environment inside the house, inside a building. It's been really nice. It glows. So no expense spared on that Lume. Well done. Now I'll share with you guys my dislikes and likes of the watch, and first and foremost, my dislikes, the weight. You know, the thing comes in at 178 grams, size to my 18 centimeter wrist, and look, it's a little bit on the heavy side for me. My sweet spot's about 150, 160. When I start to go beyond that, the watch starts to get a little bit annoying for me. So just want to share that. The date complication, I would have loved to see this without a date, because the fact that it's got a red date, white, red, I don't like. I know it's a nice design hue there, but the red I can't read. It's one of those things that it doesn't stand out. Every alternate day, I don't know what day it is. So just wanted to share that. The side of the case, as you can see, I don't like. I don't like it because to me it looks like a little bit too generic. It's got vertical brushing, it's got brushing everywhere else, as you can see, but if you look at those lugs, they're turned in very Omega Seamaster, Speedmaster. You could almost tell that that's borrowed directly from Omega. It looks exactly the same, but not polished. It's all brushed. But the side of the case, I would have loved to see maybe a little bit of a bevel at the bottom or something, just something a little different. But that's me nitpicking, guys. It is a tool, it is a specific tool, and it should be all brushed, it should be all as is, and I think in that regard they've done well. Now as far as positives are concerned of the watch, there's so many to mention, and first and foremost, that build quality. It is rock solid. Being a 300 meter dive style watch, it's built to, it's super solid. It's rock solid in the hand. Nice and thin. I love the fact that it's only about 12.5. I actually measure 12.5 to the top of that crystal. The specs say 11.3, but the only way I can get 11.3 is from the case back to the top of that bezel, but that's probably the inside of that case back, not including the, as you can see, the logo itself. But it is what it is. It's 12.5 mil. That's what I measure. The bracelet is stunning. It's like a lizard. It's like a lizard or a snake. It's really well made with the screw pins, with the milled clasp and the on the fly. I really like this, and the 3 micro adjustments. I think the bracelet is exceptional. I think the bracelet is basically top level for this sort of price point. The movement, the fact that it offers a Miyota 9015, well done. That crown as well, beautiful with its crown guards. It's so easy to grab. Nice to wind, so easy to latch down, beautiful, love it, love it. It's a joy to use, so I love that crown. And the fact that it's 300 meters in those dimensions, so really well done. And look, everything else is subjective. Everything else, guys, you might look at the watch and say, well, I don't like this or I don't like that. That's cool, no problems. You know, that's up to each individual's taste. But I'm only here to tell you guys what I think of the watch as far as, you know, on a neutral basis. It is a nice watch as far as how it's built, how it's presented. A few little things I think would have been nicer, but that's just me, personal choice. Now the price, I'll leave that up there for you guys. It also comes with a 10% discount if you use my code. I'll leave the links in the description. Let me know your thoughts on this watch, guys. I think a pretty decent offering. The fact that it's got a Miyota, a fantastic bracelet, really built well. You know, everything else is subjective. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay well during the holidays, and we'll see you all in the next video.